Hello everyone, welcome back to day 8 in Linux administration. We have come so far. We learned a lot of things. We learned file permissions, we learned a directory structure, and we learned how to create a users. And I mean, we really have come so far. So in day 8, and we are going to learn about processes and demons. Now these are not the demons from Annabelle or Conjuring or Sinister, but they are demons that live inside your Linux. And when I say inside your Linux, yes, they do. There are demons in your Linux. Please don't go on religious like there are demons in my Linux, I don't want to use Linux anymore. There are demons in your Windows too. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say that how far we've come. And if you're watching this, if you're new, if you're beginner in Linux, go ahead and watch my videos from day 1. I really try to make things basic as possible. Okay, I try to explain everything I do, everything, every reason behind every thing that has that I do in the video, every command, every reason behind it. So I try to be basic as possible, but if sometimes I'm not, just go ahead and ask me the question in comment. I will try to answer it as soon as possible. So now in day 8, as I said, we are going to be talking about processes and daemons. Now first of all, you know the process, when you click on something, it starts a process. Okay, let's say I want to run Firefox. I will just click on Firefox and it will start the process Firefox. Now there is one thing I told you, in Linux everything has ID. Everything is identified by ID, whether it's a user, whether it's a group, whether it's a process. They are all identified by an ID. Everything in Linux has some sort of ID. Okay, so how do we know that which processes are running? And the daemons, I'm going to tell demons what are they. So the daemons are processes that which you do not run, like they are just running in the background. When system starts, they just turn themselves on. They just like automatically, they are just run on startup stuff. And these processes are really important for the Linux. Okay, and that is why we call them daemons. The original term is daemons, but we can call them daemons if we want. So now as we know, the daemons are processes that we do not run, which are automatically started by system and are important for the system. So how we can check what are the processes running here? So the best command is ps. Now typing ps will only list 2 of the processes. One is bash and one is ps. Now bash is the shell that is running on my Ubuntu server, and ps is the command that I just run. So now these are not just the process that they are running. I mean, there are a lot of processes in Linux that are running, probably 100, and these are not. These are just 2. So how can we capture all the process? Well, there is a command ps3, I think, yeah. Okay, ps3. As you can see that it gives us the 3 version of the process, or the daemons, not all the processes, but the daemons that which we didn't run. So as you can see, the first daemon to run is systemd. The systemd is the first ever process that starts in Linux. Okay, it just starts everything else in Linux. Whenever systemd starts, it first starts modem manager, which is for modem manager, which is for managing the networks, and then modem manager starts the network and stuff like that, and then accounts daemon for the user accounts, not the user account, the processes accounts, as I showed you. The Apache, ATT, container, cron, and cron job is really important. I will show you. We will study cron jobs, what are cron jobs, and the login, bash, and stuff like that. But if I switch to my Kali Linux here, let me show you what ps3 will look like here. Okay, as you can see, ps3 is a lot different than we saw in Ubuntu server. Why is that? Because the Kali Linux runs with GUI environment. It runs GNOM. it runs GNOME desktop, while Ubuntu server runs only on what we call it the console mode, terminal mode, or you can call it the text mode or stuff like that, not the GUI, just CLI, command line interface. Okay, as you can see, but systemd will always remain the same. This tree will always remain the same. Now you probably didn't see network manager in Ubuntu server, but it started when modem manager is started. So yeah, sometimes it just it takes some time, not take some time, it just runs it just running because if not, then we won't be able to connect it to SSH. So the network manager is running, but it's embedded in modem. So as you can see, there is network manager here separate for, because I have interfaces here, and as you can see, then there is GNOME GDM or GNOME session is being started, then a lot of GNOME sessions, and then system journal and stuff like that. So as you can see, this is all the daemons that have been run by the system, and we did not run them. So but these are not all though. There is another command ps. Let's man ps what we got. Okay, so the first thing I want to see is PSAXU, which is for to see every process on Linux or every process on your system. So we want to do AXU. Now let's quit it. PSAXU. Now this is gonna show a lot of output, so let's do more. Okay, so now we can see the process ID. As you can see, we have the PID here, and the user is run root, because the root starts every process in Linux. Root is the very first user in Linux. Okay, the start time, and then the first process is initialization, which is called init. The init or like that. So initialization is the first process to ever start in Linux, and I mean systemd, or they how can I explain this? Like init is something like, if I type the init 0, it will shut down the system. If I type init 1, it will start the system. So basically this is the very first daemon, but systemd is the first daemon that starts the whole process afterwards. Okay, so don't get confused what is the first process. If you search, you'll find that systemd is the first process to start, and initialization is something that initializes the whole Linux, So after that, let's go. So as you can see, we have all the process. As you can see, we have all PIDs here, but this is not dynamic. By dynamic, I mean that this is just a result of which was 1 second ago. Maybe we made some changes in the processes. Maybe just maybe we stopped a process, but it's appearing still so. So to check that, there are a lot of utilities, but my favorite one are two, which one is top. Top is my favorite utilities, to be honest, and it's not much, but it's best, to be honest, because it tells you the PID, the user which started it, how much memory it's using, and time plus, and the command. So if I want to, let's say, kill some process or stuff like that, I will just we will learn how to stop the process. Okay, so but now we are just viewing it. So there's another command, htop. Now htop is the what we call it, the successor of top. So htop displays like this, and it's a bit hard for some people to read, but it's colorful. It tells you how much RAM is being consumed or stuff like that. So and as you can see, there are a lot of processes here with PID and stuff like that. So maybe you won't be able to understand some of these, but you will, as you will go further, you will know that what most of this process means. Like this process is the Apache 2. It's all linked to Apache 2. So we if we started the Apache 2, these are the processes of Apache 2. So if you don't know Apache 2, Apache is a server, web server for hosting websites. So initialization again, and there are a lot of values, some of them which I don't even know myself. And but you don't have to know, you just have to know the process ID, user, the user who started it, and you need to know the command. That's all you need to know. Why? Because there is something I want to show you first. Okay, you know how we were seeing that Apache is enabled. What if there was another way to see if Apache was enabled? Let me go into the root so we can manage the process. Now this is the time where we manage the process. Now first of all, we are going to learn the two of the most important commands that are used to start or stop a process. Okay. But first of all, we're going to be gathering its status. Now there are two ways you can do that. One is service, other is systemctl. Now I'm going to do service Apache 2, and then I'm going to write status. Okay, it tells me that Apache 2 is up and running. As you can see, it's loaded, it's active and running. Okay. As we already saw that in top, the Apache 2-k start was running. So let's say we stop it, we put an end to it. Service Apache 2 stop. Okay, it will take some time, and then service up. Now we do service Apache 2 status. Okay, as you can see, it's inactive, dead. Okay. And but there is one thing though, there is one thing to notice. In the loaded first row, you will see enabled. Now what is enabled? You know how I told you that run as startup programs? When you enable a program, or when you enable a service, it will run as you start the computer. Okay, it will just automatically run as startup. Like if you install Steam or EA game launcher, they all just start up when you load up the Windows. So this will work like that. If I want Apache not to be run as my system startups, I will just do this: system Apache 2 disabled. Okay, sorry. Now the service is limited to only few commands. Like it can start the process, it can stop the process, it can restart it, it can force reload or stuff like that. Now we are going to be starting the Apache. Let's start it. Okay, and then let's check the status. Service Apache 2 status. Okay, as you can see, we are up and running, but now I want to put an end to this nonsense of the enabled. Now what we are going to do, we are going to be seeking much bigger power. We are going for the one ring to rule them all. We are going to the Sauron ring. We're going into the Middle Earth, not the Middle Earth, the what was called it, the Mordor. Okay, we're stepping into Mordor, but Mordor name in Linux is systemctl. Now systemctl is the thing that controls all the processes. And let's say if we want to disable some process, we will write systemctl disable Apache 2. Okay, it will just do that and remove systemctl. If we check systemctl status Apache 2, and as you can see, it's disabled. Now even if I restart the system, this service won't restart just automatically. Okay, so by disabling it, I made sure that this service won't start itself automatically whenever I turn on the system, and thus not consuming extra resources. Maybe I don't need that service. Okay, also by systemctl you can do systemctl start, stop, restart, and then process name. There are a lot of processes. Let's say you want to stop SSH, you can type SSH, but I'm not going to since I'm in SSH. So you can do that. So now let's say we start the Apache. We already started it. So now we we learned that how you can start the process, how you can control all the process. So as you may go, you will learn how to stop and start more process. The more you discover, the more process. Like there is some process which we need to run, like FTP, network manager, or stuff like that. So you may need to restart them by a system CTL or service. It really depends on you, really. So these are the two commands, service, and we all learned top, htop, ps, and then we learned how to stop and start, restart, enable and disable the process. Now we are going to kill a process. Now I didn't mean to sound morbid, but that's what we're going to do. I mean, if a process is running, we are going to kill it with our own hands. Okay. Now for this, I will be using my Kali Linux because I want to show you the dynamic example of what it can do. Now let's open up a terminal here. Let's run Firefox. Okay, Firefox. By typing in terminal, you can just run Firefox. Okay, Misa. It really reminds me of Jar Jar Binks. Yusa. Okay, let's go into the top. And let's grab the Firefox ID. Here it is. Here's the Firefox. Now the top is the dynamic view of process, so it might go up and down. And as you can see, this is the PID for Firefox. Let's grab that and let's copy it, and let's go back to our terminal. As you can see, the Firefox is up and running. Let's make terminal small so you can see how dignity dies. So let's type kill. The kill command is used to kill a process, and then you give it process ID. You feed them something. You say that kill, but which target? This target. Kill him, and let there be morbid. Gone. It's gone. What did it do? It killed it. It killed the process. When we say killed, it just did that. It killed the process. Okay, as you can see, if we can kill system D, I don't know, we can shut down the whole system. So there are a lot of kill can be really dangerous command if you let it. So but overall, if you need to manage some process, if a process is not responding, like sometimes my Firefox is stopped responding, I will just go over there and kill it. So if your process stopped responding or service stopped responding, you can just go ahead and kill it, because you'll never know. So there's one way to really kill a process if you want to, like in Task Manager where you do end task, but in this you just need process ID and kill. So there's a way to kill. Now you can kill daemons, you can kill processes with it. This is not the same as stop, because stop just stops it, but kill does a really good job, because kill just stops it. It stops instantly. It's not like stopping or knocking someone out. It's just like killing it. So you can learn the difference between stop and kill more if you want to, but we got what we need, right? So this stuff, the processes and daemons, this is really important stuff that you need to know. Why you need to learn about the processes and daemons in your Linux. Okay, first of all, when you are Linux administrator, it is up to you that Linux that the system must be running smoothly, okay, and not without any imperfections or stuff like that. You need your system to be safe, and to do that you need to manage process. You need to run only those processes which you need. Like if you don't need Apache 2, why run it? If you don't need Nginx, why are you running it? So it's better to handle the processes and to see if you restart the system, what process turn itself on. I mean, if you don't need that process now, if you just need it maybe one time, so you can just disable it. Okay, so you really need to start, you really need to know how to manage your processes. You need to know how to stop them, you need to know how to restart them, you need to know how to enable them, and you need to know how to reload them or start them again or stop them, so or kill them, as I showed you. So this is all for today, I think, and I hope you learned a lot about processes. By the way, don't forget to read about systemd and init. Now I'm going to show you something. Here it is. I think this is it. This is my Ubuntu server running, okay, and I hope you can all see things clearly. Now, as I told you, if I do init 0, it will shut down the system. Let's do it. Init 1 means the system is on, initialization is on. But what if initialization is equal to 0? If it equal to 0, boom, the system is shut down. We will lose access to SSH. Let's go over back to the terminal. Maybe we already lost the access, and there we go. We lost the access, the system is shut down, and there you go. So there's one way to shut down the system, init 0, and there is one way you can just shut down and then type now. So this is the command that you can do that too, but I'm not going to. I don't want to just shut down my system now. So this is all for today, and I will see you guys in the next video.